What's up, everybody? I'm Dear Gamer. Welcome back to the channel today. We're back, and look, I was about to go knock out, but I was like, you know what? Everyone's talking about the patch notes. Let me take a look and see what's there. I streamed earlier. My community was like, yo, DJ, they've done it. They've nerfed everything, and I was like, it can't be that bad. So I was like, let me pick a little gander before I went to bed. But my goodness. So I played a rogue, and this is gonna be centered around the rogue, but we'll kind of go over everything as well. And yeah, I think what they're doing is they nerfed everything in the base game or preseason. That way they can buff, we can get buff again by all the malignant hearts that we're going to be getting in the game with the new aspects, the new things coming to the game. They talk about a lot of things. They give us all the information, the new uniques. Looking at the uniques, it's okay. Gain a random shrine effect for 10 and 20 seconds. Up to kill an elite enemy can occur once every 30 seconds. That's fine. That's whatever. And rogue, this is a unique bow. Penetrating shot does 30 to 80% chance of fire an arrow that bounces off the walls and scenery, hitting enemies from behind. When penetrating shot will make them vulnerable for 30 seconds. So that's cool. I mean, you're not necessarily gonna use a bow with rogue. You can use a crossbow because as standard stats gonna be vulnerable damage. But I don't know. Looking at this, they're shaking things up. They identified that there was a specific route to get really powerful, and they broke that. And what they really did was, we got all the vulnerable builds for the rogue were way up here. Everything else might have been fun to play, but as far as damage output, you weren't going to be there. But now what they did is they brought vulnerable damage on those builds down so much that they didn't have to buff these. It left these where they were. Maybe like I don't even think they didn't buff them. They left those where they were, and they brought vulnerable all the way down. Now everything is essentially the same now. And all the builds, I wouldn't say it gives you more variety. It's just builds don't outshine each other based off the information we have right now. So you're doing Eternal Realm, you're not going to the season. Yeah, all your builds are going to feel the same. And everything's going to feel viable, which is, I guess, gives more people more options based on the loot they get. I guess that could be a point as well. Maybe because people aren't getting what they specifically want in terms of uniques and the rolls on the specific gear, that it's getting too hard for them to farm the builds that they want, so they stop playing. But now if you get a random piece, you can you can make it work. I would say you could make more things work. So the unique for the rogue, I think it's kind of whatever. Not too excited about that. 7 new legendary aspects, you're kind of going through them. It's okay. When there's at least 5 close enemies, stun them for 2 seconds. This occurs every 20 seconds. This one called, you gain 20 to 40% increased mobility. Mobility speed when moving away from slow to chilled enemy, which is okay if you run away. That's fine. Going over here, this one's pretty cool. Every 3rd cast of puncture is poison imbued, with 100 to 150 normal potency. So that was cool. That's fine. But moving along, everything else seems okay. Remember, this is focused on the rogue, so you guys can go through and read the stats for all the other classes as well, so you can see. I already heard what they did to sorcerers. Everyone's mad about it, but going through here, these are all fine. These are all little bug fixes, nothing too crazy in here. But when it gets down to gameplay on the first level, fix issue with shadow step wouldn't trigger, the aspect of uncanny, treachery, if target was killed, all kind of like bug stuff that they fix. Like penetration shot will not knock down the enemy, twin blades will not come back, dash will not move the full distance, the target enemy using a controller, a bunch of like bug-ish things they did. So we'll kind of skip through all those as well. You can go through and read it. If you want to read it, just go to the search Diablo 4 patch notes, and it'll pop up and you can kind of see. Moving along, Helltides. They said they want to make Helltides a little stronger, but I think these are just the fixes that they did. Like issue where something wasn't working. These are all those bug fixes. So we'll kind of skip all these. Yeah, this is not the meat and the potatoes of the patch notes. So now we're about to start getting into the good stuff. Gameplay updates. Alter list now unlock account wide. Map discovery is now account wide. Whisper is no longer reward sigil dust. Overall quality losing significantly being improved. A bunch of things they're helping out rewards. Renown, what is this? Renown value adjustments. Side quest renown value increase from 20 to 30. Oh, good. So I don't have to do so many annoying side quests to get my renown up. And dungeons have increased from 30 to 40. Good. This change is retroactive, and additional renown game will be opened up to characters who have already completed the side quests and dungeons. Good. That means that you're gonna get all the additional points because you've already done the work in the past automatically. So that's cool. So hey, there's some good things in there. World tier. So World Tier 2 has had the following updates. World Tier 2 gives you bonus from increasing gold from 15 to 20%. Monsters now drop 15% more items. That's cool. That's cool. They want to give you more goods. So level scaling inside dungeons, the most overworld territories have been adjusted in World Tier 3 and 4. Monsters will now begin to trail behind the player in level after certain points. Maximum of 5 levels. So now they changed it where the scaling is not the same, because the problem everyone was saying in the past was they didn't feel stronger. They'll level up and gear up and the monsters will be the same. As you level up, the monster levels up, and you level up, the monster levels up. So there's no separation and you didn't feel powerful, which technically you could if your build was nice and you know how to work your builds. Check on my builds if you need some build help. Then you'll be fine. You'll feel powerful, because I was able to do dungeons with 10, 20 levels above me. But if you're not there, what happened is now they trail 5 levels behind you. So example, World Tier 3. If a player is level 55 or below, if you're below 55, the monster will be 55. If the player is 56 to 60, the monster level stay 55. If the monster is 61, the monster will be 56. If the player is 62, the monster will be 57. And from this point on, the monster will always stay 5 levels behind you up until the max of level 70. Same thing applies to World Tier 4. So the monster is just going to be trailing behind you. So they want to give players a sense of power, and this was their way of doing it. Reward and experience for completing Whispers has been significantly increased. They observed that They observed that the experience bonus reward for killing higher level enemies escalate too fast when compared to relatively challenge involved. We want to reward players for taking on challenges by encouraging them to participate in power leveling together instead of one player killing the enemies while the other players of the party waits at the dungeon entrance. So no more boosting. What is boosting? You got a buddy that's level 100 and they go through kill everything, and now you just sit there and get the experience and you get your level up really, really quickly. So now they don't want that to happen anymore. They want you to play with your friends, and they want you to level up that way and just level up the correct way. So what they did is they went ahead and changed everything. So if you look at it over here, preseason of the malignant bonus, if you're 1 level higher, you get 15%, 2 levels higher, you get 20%, 3 levels higher, you get 25%. So efficiency, you want to be 3 levels away your enemies. Now afterwards, you get 1.5 up to 10 levels. So level 1 level above you, 1.5, 2 levels above you, 3%, and 10 levels above you, 15%. So it's gonna be a little bit more of a challenge. We're not getting a big amount of damage boost, but I think you can make up for the experience boost by doing some of the event stuff that you get available in season 1. Moving along, they're also adjusting the monster level offset for higher world tiers. So this is where it gets juicy, where you can't boost no more. So right now, in World Tier 2, 3 points, 10 points, 100 points. You're like, what does this mean? But now they're changing it. So if your enemy is your players that you're playing with are really, really strong, you only get plus 10. So they have an example down here to break it down. If you're level 1, your friends bring you to a World Tier 4 and leave you at the entrance of the dungeon. They start killing the monsters. Pre-season, you will get level 100 monster experience times 1.25 for the boost because you're doing it in the party. Now you're only gonna get a level 11 monster experience. You're not gonna be able to just boost like crazy. So what does that mean? That means that the grind is going to be slower. They're slowing down the grind, the level grind with this, because too many people are boosted. And maybe that's what they're saying. Maybe they're trying to identify that people got to higher levels faster than they anticipated. Because the first preseason was only 1 month and a half, and people are level 100 within like a day or two, because they're boosting each other. So like, wait a minute, people felt like there was nothing to do in the game because the developers, well, you got too strong too fast. So I feel like this is their way of saying, let's slow down the gameplay, so make it last a little longer. That's just my take on it. So Helltides, they want to increase the danger of Helltide, risk and reward, making the monsters a bit more challenging, and torture gift mysteries harder to open. Lovely. So what they did, Helltide monsters now 3 levels ahead of you instead of 2, and the tortured gift mystery chests that are 175 are now 250 in order to get it. So now all interactable objects in Helltide now have a small chance of dropping the cinders needed to get to 250. So that's fine. They made it a little harder, made it a little longer, made it a little riskier because the monsters are stronger and you need more, so you gotta stay there longer, so you have a higher chance of getting killed. So okay, that's cool. Now here is where the rubber hits the road, the action happens, the balance updates. So the balance updates, developer notes. As our community continues to battle the burning hells and builds emerging from new players have shocked and delighted us, we've chosen to focus on the season malignant balance updates on clear itemization disparities over redesign of class features, meaning the class changes are largely focused on numeric increases to skills upgrades and legendary aspects that players haven't found compelling, meaning that people are not utilizing all the skills and aspects that were in the game. Additionally, we're changing critical strike damage paragon gift to empower all damage instead of only core skills, to enable more build strategies. They want more variety. They don't want to just go on YouTube and just say, this is the best build, this is it, nothing else matters. They want more people to have fun playing out different things, which could be good for content, could be good for people, but there's no one specific build. They decrease there's a few stats that grant extreme amounts of damage. You know what, I knew this was gonna happen when I found out how strong vulnerable damage was, and I saw that some items were giving like 20-40%, but I was like, damn, that's a lot of damage, a ton of damage coming from other games that I play. I was like, that's a pretty high percentage, and lo and behold, they're bringing it down because they recognize that people are a little too strong for their liking in the moment. So I'm looking at the rogue right now. What they're doing is advanced. I'm just kind of going through here. Increase rapid fire. Okay, that's fine. Enhance cold imbuement lucky hit chance increase from 30 to 40, making it better. They're just trying to make all the other skills that nobody uses better. Smoke grenade, sure, make that better. The dash from 3 seconds, reduction of cooldown from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. Concealment stealth duration increase from 4 seconds. Yeah, all these skills nobody uses. They're just trying to make them better. That's essentially what they're doing. So they're trying to balance everything out. Passive, victimized lucky hit chance increase from 30 to 35%. The strikes now have a lucky hit of 75%. The rugs damage reduction against damage over time increase from, what is it, a little bit, 3 points across the board, 1, 2, and 3. Meldin healing per second increase from 3 to 1 to use that. Aftermath energy restored. All the, yeah, like I said, all the skills no one used, they want you to make them more valuable now. Paragon guild bonus now affects all damage instead of just core skills. Cool. And the bounty legendary node duration increased from 6 to 9. So now let's get to aspects. These are all like the small changes, but nothing too crazy here. They kind of like adjust the builds. So now when you get down here and you start looking at some of just the general things, it says it starts to get like really juicy. Yeah, they really did a number on the offensive and defensive stuff as well. So aspect of disobedience, the aspect that everybody has on their rogue got decreased. Retribution, bonus damage done reduced. Unstoppable got reduced. Starlight aspect got increased. So that's good. So now let's look at the drop rate adjustment. So increased bonus to drop ancestral and sacred items in Nightmare Dungeons from 5% to 10%. Good. Remove 20% chance to drop an extra equipment in the elite monsters outside of Nightmare Dungeons. Also, use harder. Remove the 20% chance drop extra equipment from elites. So the elites outside Nightmare Dungeon are not going to drop better gear or more gear. Increased chance to drop extra equipment from elite blue monsters, Nightmare Dungeon, and Helltides. So they want you to go where it's risky. They want you to be in Nightmare Dungeons. They want you to be in Helltides. And Nightmare Dungeons now have 50% chance to drop 2 legendary items upon completion. Okay. Nightmare Dungeons now give 3 rare items upon completion, up from 1. So now when you do Nightmare Dungeons, you get 3. They literally want us to live in the Nightmare Dungeons. Like, just stay there. That's what they want. Monsters, increase monsters HP scaling from 85% to 100% per extra party member and party. So essentially, they made the monster more tankier. When you're in a party, world boss now drop more potions more often. There's no longer a limit how many materials you can refine into higher materials at once. Cool. Now this is where it got crazy. This is what they did. They adjusted some skills can be found on different pieces of armor. These are all fine, whatever. This is fine. Strength, 50% stronger on weapons. Now 25 stronger on weapons. So they're bringing the power down. Cooldown reduction was too strong is what they're saying. So now cooldown reduction got reduced by 30%. And then imbuement skill reduction got reduced by 30%. Skill trap cooldown reduction got reduced by 30%. We're seeing a critical strike and vulnerable damage way too strong. So they nerfed the heck out of it. And what they did was they decreased critical strike damage by 17%. Lightning critical 17%. Everything critical by 15%. And vulnerable damage got destroyed. Reduced by negative 40%. That is a lot. And what they're saying right here is, if you had like a sword versus a dagger, people are like, I don't even care what weapon it is because I already know I'm looking for critical strike and vulnerable damage. So if I didn't get that, then the weapon is just trash. So what they did is they reduced it to make you care more about the overall stats of the skills versus just going for these 2 specifically. They also went through and increased a bunch of resistance, because sometimes you get your amulet and your stuff, they have like, I don't know, lightning damage reduction or protection. They went through and increased all of that because they want to slot it in specific items for specific monsters and bosses. So now apparently resistance is going to play a part in the game. They might have fixed it, they might not have, but this is where we are. They also did a thing where they reduced damage, where total armor is now decreased by 25%. Damage to close enemies is reduced by 20%. Damage to distant enemy reduced by 20%. Just damage reduction in general got a nerf to it. So they went in. They absolutely went in. What could make this better is our malignant hearts, and they'll add more power because they're pretty powerful. I think that is what they're gonna do, because malignant hearts, you can't change the skills. Once you put it on a piece of armor, you have to only replace it. You can't take it off. So I feel like that is how they want us to get stronger. and everything else just should, everything we know from the base game, essentially doesn't matter. Is what they're telling it. It doesn't matter. Just focus on learning and getting involved in season 1 content, because that's where we're gonna find our power again. So this is the patch notes. The rogue. I mean, I feel everybody got nerfed. For rogue, it was okay. Nothing too crazy for the rogue. I think just everything got brought down. Monsters got stronger. No more boosting. Yeah, I mean, you're more squishy, which is, I guess that's dangerous for a rogue, because now we're more squishy because the damage reduction and stuff got reduced. So I don't know. This is where we're at. Comment below your thoughts. The batch notes are here. You can go through and read through all the details if you like. But I kind of went through some of the things that stood out to me. So I'm about to go to bed, and I was like, oh my God, I got to check this out because it goes live on the 20th, and we want to be ready with all the up-to-date information as we're making our builds and doing the thing. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up as it supports me. Stay smooth till next time. Dear gamers, signing out.